This is part 20 about the Olshammar engine. One EGR cooler can be used for many cylinders. So, repetition. This is a new design for high pressure EGR, and variations of this design can be made for different numbers of cylinders. This example has 2 cylinders and the pistons are moving up and down in pairs. When we have high pressure combustion in one cylinder and the piston goes down to its lower position, it opens a side port and EGR gases are pushed through the EGR cooler and into the low pressure intake cylinder. And next cycle it's reversed in the other direction. If we only have one cylinder, it can still work. The high pressure combustion, when it opens the side port, it will push gases into the EGR cooler, and then it will seal the EGR cooler when the piston goes up. When the piston comes down next time, it has a low pressure intake cycle, and the high pressure in the EGR cooler will push gases out there again. An EGR valve can be used to limit the flow back and forth to the EGR cooler, but we can also adjust the volume in the EGR cooler. With a small volume, only a small flow can be made, and with a large volume, we can have a larger flow. For cylinder engines can have the following layouts. The alternative one is to use 2 EGR coolers, one for each pair of cylinders moving up and down. The alternative 2 is to use a common EGR cooler, but then we need some internal baffles to make sure that the distance between cylinder 2 and 3 that are moving in pair are equal to the distance between 1 and 4 for the flow between them. We can also add some adjustable baffles in green in alternative 3, so we can adjust the distance between the different cylinders. And here's a simplified version where we have the same distance for flow between cylinder 2 and 3 and cylinder 1 and 4. If we have 3-cylinder engines, then we need to store some of the gases in the EGR cooler between the different cycles. And if cylinder 1 is firing first, then after 180 degrees it will push out gases into the EGR cooler, and after 540 degrees it will inhale gases from the EGR cooler again. A 6-cylinder engine can be treated as 2 3-cylinder engines with 2 EGR coolers. But we can also have a common EGR cooler, and then we need some baffles to make sure that the distance between the different pairs are equal when it comes to the flow. We can also add a common EGR valve between the left and the right side. It can limit the flow between the cylinders, but it cannot get the flow down to 0. An alternative is to change the firing orders of the cylinders. So if cylinder 1 and 4 moves in pair, 2 and 5 moves in pair, and 3 and 6 moves in pair, then we have equal distance between these cylinders and we don't need any internal baffles. We can also add a common valve that can shut down the flow. It could be a gate valve, and it's suggested that the gate valve closes from the top to the bottom and leaves the bottom of the cylinder open the longest. It can be a rotating valve as well. It doesn't have to be 100% tight. It can be leaking a little bit. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, then contact me.